Hello guys, and welcome to the series of web concepts, and in today's video we are going to talk about the first party cookie and the third party cookies and the difference between these two. So let's begin. To understand it better, I have created one web page and I am setting one cookie with the key as user and value as week. Okay, and I'm going to save this file, and then let's open it the same from the Chrome, and I'm going to the inspect. You can also press Ctrl+Shift+I, application and cookies section, and this section is for my URL. And here, if you notice, this is the cookie that we are setting when we are visiting this particular web page. Now if you notice, the site of this particular domain of the cookie, which is 192.168.1.72, and the site of the URL, which is again 192.162.1.72, are same. So when the site of the domain of the cookie and the site of the URL which we are visiting are same, then those cookies are known as the first party's cookies. These are also known as the same site cookies. Now if you don't know about what exactly a site is, then in one of the previous video I have explained about the sites in detail along with example, so you can check that out. Now let's take some other example by visiting some other website. Okay, so here I am visiting dictionary.com, and this is the section for dictionary.com. And here you will see there are a lot of cookies that are being set up, but for this particular cookie, the site of the domain and the site of URL are same. So this cookie will be considered as the first party cookie. Similarly, this is also first party cookie, and this is also first party cookie. Another example, let's say I'm visiting youtube.com. So here also, if you see, this will be considered as the first party cookie, and this will also be considered, and these three will also be considered as the same site or the first party cookie. Okay, now let's discuss about the third party's cookies. Basically, when the site of the domain of a cookie is not equals to the site of the URL which we are visiting, then those cookie will be considered as the third party's cookie, and these are also known as the cross-site cookies. Okay, so in this particular case, if you see this particular cookie, that is google.com, the site is google.com, but here the URL site is youtube.com. So both of them are different. So this cookie will be considered as the third party cookie. Similarly, if you notice the cookie APC, here the site of the domain is doubleclick.net, but the site of the URL which we are visiting is the youtube.com, which are mismatching. So basically this will be considered as the third party cookie, right? Other example, here this is also a third party cookie, third party, and also we can say it cross-site cookies, right? Similarly, if we go to other website, you will see there are a lot of cookies which are third party, right? Now let's try to set up the third party cookie in our web page. So I'm going to open our page, okay, and here I'm going to write a script. And now if you notice, if anybody is visiting my page, then my page is making an external call to another URL. Okay, so somebody is visiting my page, and within my page is making another call to a different site, and that site is responsible for setting the cookie. So in this particular case, Optifier will be setting the cookie when somebody is visiting my page. Okay, so let's save it, and I'm going to restart my Apache service, and I'm going to refresh the page. So in this particular case, if you notice, we have one cookie that is _cf_bm, in which the site of the domain is different than the site of the URL which we are visiting. Okay, so this cookie will be considered as the cross-site or the third party cookie. Now always keep in mind that it is not my website, that is 192.168.1.72, which is setting the cookie. Okay, there is a link within my page, within my website, which is making a cross-site request, and the response of that request is creating the cookie. Okay, for instance, here this is my call which I am making, right? And if I open it into a browser, and let's press Ctrl+Shift+I for the inspect, and here you will see the cookie is there. I can also delete it, but if I refresh the page, this cookie will get created again. Okay, so it is the response to this particular request from my website which is responsible for creating the third party or cross-site cookie, and due to the same reason, these cookies are also considered as the cross-site cookies, because even though I'm visiting 192.168.1.72, but the cookie is actually being set by the other site, that is optify.com. Now, one last thing that you need to remember, sometimes the website will bring the content of the other website into their own website using the tags like iframe. In this case, you will see there will be various sections that will get created within the cookies. And when I'm clicking this, then we will again see a lot of cookies. Okay. Now, with respect to the terminology, these cookies will also be considered as the third party or cross-site cookies, because the site of the domain is different than the site of the URL which we are visiting. Now let's create one of the subsection for our own website also. Okay, so I'm again going to my page and I'm going to uncomment this particular line, that is iframe https blackfreecontent.com. Okay, let's save it and let's restart our service and let's visit our page. Okay, I'm going to refresh it and you will see it is trying to bring the content of other website. It may take some time. Now if you notice, there are two subsections that are getting created. So I'm going to the elements and let's visit this particular website. Okay, and I'm also going to press Ctrl Shift I, application, and here if you notice two cookies are being set up. I'm going to delete this. Here if you see, when I'm visiting the blackfreecontent.com, there are two cookies that are getting created and also one subsection, that is razorpay.com, is getting created. And when I'm calling this particular website into my own website, then whatever is present or whatever is being set for that particular website will also be shown in my own website as well. Okay, that is the reason here instead of just one subsection you are seeing the two subsection, because that website is responsible of creating another subsection, and the similar type of cookies will also be reflected in my page as well. Okay, so I hope you got the idea. First party cookie, when the site of the domain of the cookie is same as the site of the URL which we are visiting, and for any other case if the site is different between these two, those cookies will be considered as the third party cookies or the cross site cookies. Now one final point, sometimes some browser may block the third party cookies. Okay, so maybe if one website you are opening into the Chrome and then one website you are opening in the Firefox or the Edge, maybe the different browser might be following the different policies, due to which in one browser you might be seeing the third party cookies, but in the second browser it might be blocked by default. You can change those settings, but by default the nature can vary. Okay, so when you are testing in your own laptop, keep this point in mind. So that's all for today guys. I hope you like the video. If you have any doubt, please comment it down. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.